Hello and welcome everyone to our channel Basic ICT PNG. This is our second video under the topic Basic Hardware of a Computer System. Today we will look at how data flows in a computer system. Well, there are several ways to explain how data flows in a computer system. Here we explain data flow in terms of the four main computer hardware units. These four main computer hardware units we discussed in our first video. So if you haven't watched the first video, go check it out. It's called the four main computer hardware units. But in this video, we try to answer the question, how does data flow between these four main hardware units? Here we use an example to explain how data flows between these four main hardware units. But first, let's take note of some important points. Let's see the difference between data and information. Data are the raw facts data to be processed. Examples of data would be the keyboard characters, audio files, the letters of the alphabet, numbers, and many more. On the other hand, information is the processed data. Alright. Examples of information would be letters arranged to spell your name, letters of the alphabet arranged to spell your name, or an audio file played to listen to music. So the file itself is the data, but when it's played, the music is the information. Also take note that information from one process can be used as an input to another process. Alright. And data flows from one hardware unit to another. Take note, here we're looking at data flow from one hardware unit to another and not how computer works. When we look at how computer works, in a later video we will explain how the components work together to process the data. Here we just see how the data flows between the computer hardware components. So how does data flow in a computer system? Well, first, data is entered through the devices of the input unit and flows to the system unit for processing by the processing devices or the system unit devices. After processing, the resulting information is then transferred to either the secondary memory unit to be stored or to the output unit to be heard or displayed. Now the information stored in the secondary unit, that's this unit here, can also be transferred back to the system unit for processing. Now when data is taken, or data information is taken from secondary memory unit to be processed by the system unit, it may be referred to as input also. Now let's look at an example. Playing a song stored in your SD card on your smartphone. Here we identify the data, which is the audio file that has a file name, file type, and file location. And the information will be the music head, and you see the audio player playing on the smartphone. Input devices will be the keypad or the touch screen, and the system unit devices would be the CPU and the RAM. The storage unit devices will be the SD card. The output unit devices would be the speaker on the phone and the display screen. So these are the components, various components in each of these four units that play a part to play a song on your smartphone. Okay, here we use the example to summarize how data flows in a computer system. Okay, when data is entered, when you play your audio to this keypad or the touch screen, it goes to the processing unit to be processed by the CPU and the RAM, and then you can hear the sound line that will be on the output unit to the speaker or the display and the display screen. See the sound playing on the player. Also, you can be able to store the sound in a secondary memory unit, and in your case here the SD card, or it's taken from the SD card to the processing to be played, and it can be returned back again to the SD card. So this is just a summary of how data flows. Data flows from the input to the processing and goes to the secondary. From the secondary memory, it can get back to the processing, and from processing, it can go out to the output or the secondary memory unit or the data storage unit. So this is just a summary of how data flows in a computer system. We have come to the end. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And see you in the next video on components of a desktop computer system. And we'll be looking at input unit in the next video. Thank you and see you.